Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today? Hope everybody had a good week. Alright, looks like we're going to start out with a good stream bandwidth here. That's a good thing. Alright, we'll wait for some people to get here. Some more people. Hello, Bandana Grandma. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping on in this morning. Alright. Well, it's been kind of a wonky week for us here, so... Oh, well, that's good, Bandana Grandma. Good to hear that. Like I said, it's been kind of a wonky week yet again. We've had good and bad happen again this week. A lot more good than last week. We had quite a few things happen last week that weren't all the greatest, but you know, life happens. Hello, Weed Tree Bonsai. How are you today? I hope everybody's weeks went pretty good since the last time we were here. We are not in a drought region right now, Bandana Grandma. We've actually had really nice rain this summer, and I was one thing I am going to touch on. We just had our first killing frost yesterday, so it's been a really great year. The grass has still been green and growing, and we just started feeding hay at the very beginning of November, which is, we usually are already feeding by then, so it was kind of nice. Wheat Tree, I am doing good today. Let me get that off. I just thought I would show you, this is a picture that I took several years ago, but this is a picture of a brown leghorn rooster, and anyway, I just thought I would have him up there for you guys at the moment. Okay, so anyway, today is going good for me. Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Just to make sure before we get too far along here. Let me adjust something here. That way I can see. Thank you, Weetree. Yep, that would probably be a good idea, Bandana Grandma. I have a set of jalapeno peppers that are just refusing to die. They keep producing, and I went and looked at them this morning. You know, that frost did not hurt them all that bad. I expected them to be all wilty and gross and have to just cut them out. They don't want to die, so we'll see. Okay, thank you. Seems like everybody can see and hear me fine. Alright, we'll give it a couple of more minutes until we get into what I have planned for today. The topic that I have picked out for today is going to be butchering animals on your homestead. And I'm just going to get into kind of a general discussion about it. I'm not going to get into specifics. Because that's a whole nother video, and I do have a couple of species specific butchering videos already. I have chickens and rabbits up already, and if you want to check those out, you can just go ahead and head on over to my channel, and they are under the playlist section for different the different species that I have. So a little buffering. Sorry guys. We kind of live out in the sticks, so internet's not the greatest out here. Oh, Thank you, Ray. Thank you. That's so sweet. All right. Okay, so it's 11:05, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, updates for this week. Okay, so Louise update, which is the cow that I had prolapse on me last week. She did have her calf. Now, saying that, as you know, I had to stay here and babysit her. I had to go out and check on her every 2 hours for the entire, she had her calf on, let's see, it was Friday the 11th. It was Veterans Day when she decided to have her calf. And I had been checking on her and everything like that. Well, we had a Veterans Day celebration to go to, and it was at the children's school. We were only gone for about an hour, hour and a half at the most, and I had checked on her right before we left, and she seemed fine, didn't show any indications of impending labor. When we got back, about an hour and a half or so, hour and a half, I don't really remember, but she was in labor, ready to push the calf out. That's how fast it can happen sometimes. So that's why I was on every 2 hours. It's been like trying to watch having a newborn baby every 2 hours. So anyway, went ahead, cut the string, and I was gonna just, back off and let her do her own thing. And so I was like, well, let me check just in case. So my husband was with me, Brian was with me, and I kind of reach in to make sure that the calf is in the proper position and everything like that. Well, unfortunately, I reached in and I felt back feet. And the calf was breech. So that was an indication that we needed to jump in right then and there and help out. The calf, when they come out breech, they're and this one was the normal breech way. The back, it's kind of hard to explain, but the hooves were turned up, and so it was preventing the calf from coming out any further. And so I had to reach in and I had to correct that in the birth canal. And then it took us a good 25 minutes to get the calf pulled out. It was a very hard delivery. I could not have done that on my own. It took both of us really trying to get that calf out. And once we did get it out, it was dead. I knew instantly that it was dead. There was no saving it. I did do a few chest compressions and clear its throat just to make sure. But when a calf has that, I call it the 1,000-yard stare, there was no reflexes when you touched his eye, the umbilical cord, there was no pulse coming from that. I did do a few things, but I kind of knew that it was too far gone to really even try doing a whole lot. But unfortunately, we did lose that little calf. It was a little bull calf, and the cow is fine. She has not reprolapsed, which is good. I am keeping a very close eye on her. If I do think that she will even remotely try to reprolapse, I will call my vet, get her out there, and just have her sew her back up again. So that way we won't lose the cow too. It always is sad when you lose a calf, but it happens. And we tried everything we could to save it. So anyway, on a happier note, the next morning I come out and we have a brand new baby heifer. So Thelma, Louise's sister, had her calf the next night. And I have a picture of her here in just a few minutes, but she is a cutie. She's a black-white face. As you know, we borrowed my dad's bull, so we are going to have crossbred calves this year. But she is a cutie, and she has kind of a unique attribute, and I will show that to you here in just a few minutes. We call her Stubby, if that gives you kind of a clue as to one of her little unique traits that she has. So anyway, that is the cow update. Ethel, one of our sows, she is heavily pregnant. She is starting to bag up, and we are going to be having little pigs soon. And I do have a picture of the new hog hut that we put together. I finally remembered to get that for you guys. Let me take my sunglasses off. I don't need them inside. So she is hopefully going to be having us a litter of piglets. Now, Lucy, on the other hand, is not showing signs of being pregnant. Oh, I'm offline. Okay. Uh-oh. Let's see here, guys. Hang on. Okay. Dang it. If I come back on, will you guys let me know? Lots of buffering. Oh, back now. Okay. If you guys can see me again, please let me know that it's back on. Thank you, Emre, for doing that for me. Let me... Let's see here. Okay. Last heard if you're watching cow to see... Okay. Alright, so I will start back there again. So I am watching Louise to make sure she needs to be sewn, if she needs to be sewn back up. So I'm on that watch. And then left off finishing. Okay, good. I was sitting there rambling. I did ramble on a little bit farther. So anyway, on happier news, after we lost that calf, the next morning I went back out to check, and we had a brand new baby heifer calf. Miss Thelma had her calf that morning. She had just been born, and she is absolutely gorgeous. She's a black white face. She's got a little spot over her eye, and she does have a unique little attribute to her. It's kind of funny. The first time I seen it, I was like, oh my. So I have a picture of her here in a minute, and I will show you guys here in just a second. But anyway, we call her Stubby. So that's kind of a clue as to why, or what her little unique attribute is. So anyway, all right. Ethel, our pig, is heavily pregnant. She will be pigging here soon. She will hopefully have us lots of little pigs. I do have a picture of the new hog hut that we built, and hopefully she will settle in there and have us quite a few little pigs. Now, let's see. Lucy, on the other hand, she is not showing any signs of being pregnant, and this will be the second time that she's been exposed, if she doesn't have any, that she's been exposed and not been pregnant. So she may be going to freezer camp if she does not have little pigs this time, because it just doesn't make sense for us to have... Oh, offline again. This is gonna be annoying. Sorry, guys. Online. Yay! Okay. Online again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I do apologize, guys, for the streaming. I've done everything I know to do. Okay, so I'm just going to continue, and then if it doesn't pick back up, I guess you guys can rewatch it later on. Hello, T. Teresa. Okay. Ethel, and we have Lucy and Ethel. Those are our two pigs. So if Miss Lucy does not have pigs this time around, because this will be her second time being exposed to a boar and no pigs, she will be going to freezer camp. Okay, so this last weekend was the opening weekend for deer firearms season. My husband and I usually participate. This year we have not, mainly because he is still recovering from his shoulder surgery, and my back is still, a little bit. So I didn't think that lugging around a deer, if I happen to get one, would be a very good idea. However, usually we have people come and offer us deer that they've shot and that they don't want. They will usually offer us some deer meat. So if we do have that happen, I will go ahead and accept that. Here in Missouri, you are allowed to do that as long as you do not take any, as long as no money is exchanged. It can be gifted to you. So, oh, back to my roots homestead. Thanks for coming in. I hope you enjoy the show. We're just doing a kind of farm update. So, okay. Alrighty, so there's that. My dad did get a 12-point buck, and my brother got a doe this last weekend. So they are tagged out. They could get another tag if they wanted to, but that's all the meat that they need. And we're kind of a family that, if we don't need the meat, we're not going to harvest the deer. So we hunt for the purposes of meat. Anyway. All right. I have been working on some 4-H projects around here. Getting some ready for kids to be doing. Right now I'm working on a clothespin wreath, and it should be pretty easy for my clover kids to do. I've been spray painting them, and that's been kind of fun. So Brian has been working on the front porch. He just finished it yesterday, so I have a picture for you guys, a before and after picture of the house when we bought it and what the house looks like now, the front of the house. So and then I have been working on some metal sign, some drawings for metal signs for our kids so that they can display them at the fair, and they can kind of represent their club, represent themselves, and things like that. So anyway, it says my stream went bad on me. I hope it's not doing too bad for you guys. You guys still seeing and hearing me? I hope so. Anyway, let me know if it does go offline, guys. Again. Alright, so I hope to have those ready. I'll show them to you guys whenever I get them finished. I am in the process of getting those drawn up and stuff like that. So, alrighty. Picture time. Alright, so I've got a few pictures from this last week for you guys. Yes, I am part of the Homestead Network, We Tree Bonsai. Back to my roots. If you haven't heard of the Homestead Network before, you should definitely check it out. It's thehomesteadingnetwork.com. And then at the end of the show, I will, I've got a list of the Homestead Network channels that I'm going to do a little bit of a shout out for. So, thank you, T. Teresa, for stopping in, and we'll see you later. Alright, so here we go. Pictures. Alright, so first I'm going to start out with, this is what the house looked like when we purchased it. We did buy it as a foreclosure, so we kind of got what we got. Oh, sorry guys, I just got distracted. This is what it looked like when we purchased it. Alright, so here is what it looks like now. Brian did a very, very good job with the lattice work, I think. And we have since resided the house. And there you go. That's what it looks like now. Yes, Wee Tree, I didn't, I clicked off that one picture and then clicked on another one. I will try to make the transition a little bit better this time. I'm still figuring all this out, guys. I'm not very good with technology. It's one of those things where it hates me and I pretty much hate it. So anyway, there's what the house looks like now. And here is a picture of the piglets. They are growing really nicely. As you can see, they're getting a lot bigger. They're enjoying their breakfast right there. I had just fed them, so they were all kind of huddled around. This little female you see right here with this one single solitary spot on her back, we may decide to keep her as a sow, just in case Lucy decides that she does not want to have little piglets. We might keep her back because she is a very nice little piglet. But anyway, there she is. Okay, so here is the pig hut that we put together. This is the new one. Right behind that is the other one. This was made from 100% reclaimed materials. The only cost that we have in this is the screws we use to put it together. So this is a hog hut. These panels, those we got for free. And the ones that you see in the background we also got for free. So we have two individual farrowing pins, and I will be putting in some straw here soon for them. So anyway, there you go. That's awesome, bandana grandma. I think if everybody just tried to be a little bit more self-sufficient, the world would be better off. That's for darn sure. The more people we have that want to try and do that, the better our country will be, in my opinion. So, but we're not going to get into my opinions right now. Okay, so this next picture is of the new calf. There she is, and can you guys guess why we call her Stubby? I'll give everybody just a minute to figure that one out. Hi, Grizz. Welcome in. Good to see you again. You gonna start causing me some trouble this morning? I hope not. Okay, so any guesses as to why we call her Stubby? I'll give you guys a minute. Nope, Wee Tree, she doesn't have any horns. Yes, back to my roots. Her tail. Her tail is about half the length that it should be. It is, she was born with a short tail. I don't know why, but she was. So she earned her name because of her little, oh. Okay. Don't ban him. He usually doesn't cause too much trouble. Let me see here, Wee Tree. Let's see. Oh. Nope, I don't want to do that. Sorry. Crap. What'd I do? Shit. Oops. Sorry, guys, if you heard that. No. Okay. Sorry, guys. My bad. Okay. And I do apologize for my comment if you guys did hear that. Okay. There you go, wee tree. Okay, behave, Grizz. Please behave. I do have. He does have the. Oh, excuse me. Weetree has the ability now. So anyway, there is Stubby, the little calf. Okay, so here is a picture of my chickens. I just thought I would show you that this morning. I fed them, and they were all eaten. So anyway, there you go. And so this is a picture of my garden. This is a new bed that we will be putting in, or that we are putting in. I am getting the dirt that you see under there, that came from the calf lot where Cassidy fed out her show steer, Hans, last year. So this is a lot of great dirt. It's been sitting there for quite a while. Now we are putting on the mulch so that it can kind of have a chance to break down over the wintertime. Yes, I think she is very cute, Weetree Dwanzai. Thank you. All right. Just fight the urge to urge Grizz to misbehave. Never. Okay, well, you guys duke that one out. Let's see. Do I have any more? Yes, I do. Oh, no, I don't. That's the last picture I have for you guys. And next week I thought I would go ahead and show you guys kind of the layout of my garden. You can kind of see there to the right in the background, that's where we had our watermelons. There to the left in the back, that's where my tomatoes and stuff still are. I still have to get all that yanked out of there and cleaned up. And then to the left, out of the picture there, behind the skid loader, there's another bed. And then behind the tomato bed, there is also another bed up there. Those are my two main ones. This is the one that we are adding this year. We try to add a new bed every year. So, thank you, Weetree. Oh, Bandana Grandma, we have 25 acres. 5 of that is our pond. So we have a pretty good sized pond. It is stocked with fish and all kinds of stuff. So we usually are able to harvest some, oh my goodness, I almost said tree frogs. Every year we usually harvest some bullfrogs because my husband and my children dearly love them to eat them, and I do not. But anyway, and then we usually will fish and get some fish out of there too. There are, let's see, we have catfish, we have sun perch, bluegill, and bass in the pond. So anyway, all right. So, oh, okay. So those are all my pictures for the week. Now for the book, and this one kind of falls on the topic at hand. This is one of my favorite butchering books that I have found, and it's by Adam Danforth. I hope I said that right, but anyway, this one is for poultry, rabbits, lambs, goats, and pork. He does have one specifically for cattle because that one is those. If you butcher your own cattle, there are a lot of things that this book would be twice as thick if he had to do that. So this is the book that I recommend if you are wanting to get into butchering. I do have another one. I didn't bring it over here. It is. Oh, I can't read that far. But anyway, my pond is 5 acres. Offline. Ah, dang it. Okay. Grizz. Weetree, let me know when I'm back online. Hopefully, breaking up. Ugh. Dang it. Back on. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so this book, it has a lot of great pictures. He walks you through everything step by step. He breaks it down for you. It's got a lot of, can you guys see? It shows you the skeletal structures of a lot of the animals. It shows you how to quarter them, how to cut the meat off the bone. It's got a lot of great information in it, and it's really good for a beginner. Those who are wanting to get into butchering their own livestock. So, Butchering by Adam Danforth. All right. Did everybody get that, I hope? Oh, I'm really sorry, guys. Breaking up again. Yeah, our internet's not the greatest out here, so anyway. Am I still back on Weetree? Just to make sure. Okay, so butchering. It's one of those things where if you're going to be raising your own livestock, you have to decide whether it's going to be for you or it's not going to be for you. Butchering is completely your decision. There are local butchers around here that will butcher anything for you. It just depends on the cost. If we wanted to take a batch of chickens to be butchered, then it would cost us a great deal of money to have them butchered. So butchering them ourselves is more cost effective, and I can also see how they were butchered and know that they were dispatched humanely. The local butcher that we use, the only two animals that we do not butcher ourselves are cattle and hogs. Yes, I know how to butcher them myself. Do I like doing it? No, because there's a lot of work that goes into butchering those larger animals. And to me, it's easier to have them do it. I know how their kill floor works. I know the people that work on their kill floor, and they do a very good job at making sure that the animal is killed humanely, is dispatched humanely. So you may want to look into local butcher shops and things like that. So, and the cost for what you're wanting to have butchered. So it's completely your decision as far as whether or not you want to butcher things on your homestead. But if you want to raise animals, that is something you're going to have to choose. Now, if you've never butchered anything before and you're really nervous about it, a lot of local farmers will let you help, will let you watch. I know if somebody wants to learn how to do it, I will take the time to teach them how to butcher their own animals. I do not mind. So anyway, and the way you can go about finding those people is you can go to your local extension agent. You can go to the farmers markets, even the people that butcher for the farmers markets. Sometimes they will know people, or they do it themselves. I know if they're selling certain types of livestock, they have to have it done by a USDA facility. And if you are wanting to sell any meat that you raise, most of it, according to your state laws, most states require that the animal be slaughtered in a USDA facility. The closest one of those to us here is about a 30-minute drive. So for some people, that's a long distance because a lot of the local butcher shops don't even monkey with the whole USDA process. And the meat that you get from them is the meat that you keep, and you cannot resell it, at least here in Missouri. Ugh, Grizz, Weetree is going to put you in timeout if you don't behave. Anyway, so You will need to know how you are going to butcher each species. Each species requires different things, different techniques to be butchered, such as chickens. You don't have to have a chicken plucker. My husband did build one last year, and that was a godsend because I do not like plucking chickens. It's not fun. Or you can go ahead and skin them. If you do skin them, you can't barbecue them and different things like that. I do prefer to have the skin on because it does, if you're making noodles or if you're making like a soup, it does add a lot of flavor into what you're cooking. So, the cheapest butcher I found was the university. Back to my roots. Where what state are you located in? I don't think the University of Missouri does that. Oh, wow, Grizz. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Chickens are extremely expensive if you want to have them butchered. And the closest butcher that butchers chickens around here is an hour away from us. So, timeout does not work for Grizz experience speaking. Minnesota. Okay. I don't know if all universities do that, but that's a great place to look into. So, okay. Very cool. Let's see. Okay, so now that you kind of have figured out that if you are or you're not going to be butchering on your homestead, and if you haven't done it before, like I said, get a mentor or somebody to show you how to do it properly. You are going to need the proper equipment. Know which equipment that you're going to need. I have a short list of just general things that you're probably going to want to have. You're going to want to have knives that are sharp. Dull knives are very dangerous. Behave, Chris. Knives that are sharp. You're going to need some sort of ice water if you're doing the smaller animals, such as the chickens and the rabbits. You wanted to have them soak in an ice water bath so that they can cool properly. Just because you don't want to just stick a warm chicken in a freezer, it will be like eating a piece of leather. You have to let the animal go through the rigor mortis process before you freeze it. You do not want to do that. It's not cool. And it doesn't matter how long you cook that animal. If you put it in the crock pot and cook it it doesn't matter. It's going to be like eating a piece of leather if you don't let it chill properly before you freeze it. Is my halo too small? Oh my goodness. So ice water. You'll want some tables, some bowls, cutting boards, baggies. Just depends on how you're going to preserve it. But baggies are always a good thing to have around. Some of the plastic wrap, some of the butcher paper, different things like that. Things that you're going to want to have on hand that you're going to be preserving it or putting in the freezer with. Just different things like that. Oh, well, thank you. Back to my roots. Appreciate it. Rags, paper towel, rags or paper towels, depending on, I use rags just because I can reuse them. Rags or paper towels. I do keep paper towels out there because they are the easiest thing to get a lot of grime off your fingers. But I try not to use too many of them. Sanitizing equipment. After you're done, you're going to want to sanitize everything properly before and after. Before and after you butcher, you want to make sure that you are going to sanitize everything properly. Okay, so buckets, and you also probably want to have your knife sharpener out there as well, because cutting through, if you have to cut through bones, if you have to do things like that, then you are going to want to have your knife is going to go dull, and a dull knife is a very dangerous knife. Let's see. Pens and markers for whenever you have everything wrapped up and ready to put in the freezer, because if you don't mark it, you don't tell yourself what it is, you will not remember what it is. Unless it's painfully obvious, like a rabbit or a chicken. But if you wrap in butcher paper, then you're not going to know what's inside that butcher paper. Ground meat looks like ground meat when it's in the freezer. It doesn't matter. If you remember where it is in the freezer, it tends to move itself. Because other people get in there and they're looking for something and toss this here, that there. And if you don't have it marked, then you are going to have surprise meat. Whatever you're going to have that for dinner that night. So it'll be a surprise. And then, of course, any specialty equipment that you are going to need. Something like the chicken plucker. You're not going to need that for a rabbit, but it comes in handy with the chickens. With chickens, you got kill cones. Those make it a lot easier. Our kill cones are made out of an old traffic cone that we got somewhere that it was all messed up, but it works for the purpose that we need it for. An old traffic cone, cut both ends off and nail it to a tree. That's our kill cone. So well, let me see. I'll catch up on comments here real quick. Connie R, cutting off chicken legs is actually very easy. I have a chicken butchering video. It goes into detail on. I show you exactly how to do it. Well, it's a little hard right now, but the chickens, their joint between where the skin starts and the scales, I don't know, anyway. The joint there, their joint, if you bend it a little backwards and then you slit, it'll go ahead and pop out for you, and then just cut straight through. It should be really easy. Chicken legs are the easiest ones to cut off. Honestly, there's no tendons that are gonna obscure your way like rabbits. Rabbit joints are a little harder to cut through. Are actually really hard to cut through, and I do use pruners for my rabbits, Connie. It makes it so much easier with the rabbits. Unfortunately, it does make the bones a little bit more jagged, but if you kind of nip up in there in the leg just a little bit farther, so that way the meat kind of covers the end of it and you don't poke a hole in your bag every single time you go to butcher, or whenever you go. Well, we vacuum seal everything, so when you go to vacuum seal, it doesn't poke a hole in your bag. Okay. Oh, you're just discussing, not arguing. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, so I think I've got, and if you guys have anything that I missed, with the rabbits, I have a little thing that's, well, my butcher station for those. I just hang strings down, and then you wouldn't do that for a chicken, but just, it always helps to have everything ready before you actually start the butchering process. Like with chickens, scalding, you have to scald pigs if you're going to scrape them. If you're going to skin them, then that's a whole nother ballgame. But so scalding, specialty equipment, different things that you'll need for each species. All right, so you have your animal. You have everything you need. You have your animal. You have it butchered. So now you have it dispatched, excuse me, and now it is time to butcher the animal, which means to cut it up and preserve it. There are many, many, many different ways to preserve meat. Freezing is the most popular nowadays. You can also can it. That process takes a very long time. Here in my area, it is so many pounds of pressure for 90 minutes. I'm not gonna, well, I can't remember off the top of, I think it's 15 pounds for 90 minutes. But it's different for everybody, so you need to make sure if you're going to can it, you check your elevations and you check your canning times, because it is different for everybody, and it must be pressure canned. It cannot be water bath canned. Meat botulism, you have to pressure can it. You'll run into the whole botulism issue and spoilage issue, and then you wasted all that time and effort for nothing. So, do I use the cone? Yes. For butchering chickens, I use the cone for that. It's much easier. When I butcher my chickens, they have an artery that runs behind both ears. And usually my husband is the butcher and scalding station, and I am the evisceration station and cut up station. So, and bagging. I lose power too often to rely on freezers. That would be a good reason to can wheat tree. Yes, wheat tree. We are one of the last ones to get power on as well. Whenever the power does go out. Hello, Brenda. Okay, so I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, how you will preserve your meat. There's, like I said, there's freezing, there's canning, brining. Back in the day, my grandpa would tell me they would brine all of their meat. They would make hams. They would hang hams after they did their hog killings every fall. They'd hang hams. They would, I think he called it salt packing. I don't really know a lot about it, but they would put a layer of salt, layer of meat, layer of salt, layer of meat. And he said by the time you got down to the bottom of that barrel, the meat was extremely salty, but he was raised in the Depression era, so food was not wasted. You ate it anyway. Okay. Wheat tree, I'm going to let you handle that one however you see fit. So, I'll let you do that. Anyway, that they would preserve, they had several different ways that they preserve their meat. A couple of years ago, my husband decided that he wanted to do a deer ham. And I was a little skeptical, but he did it, and it was really, really good. I had never heard of anybody hanging a deer ham and preserving it that way, but he did, and it was very good. The meat was great. So anyway, we may, if we get a chance, we may do that again and take you through that process, because that was really cool. It was really kind of neat. I was a little skeptical. Okay, so you have your meat cut up and preserved and ready to go. So the next thing, you're going to need to think about how you are going to dispose of all the extras that you do not use, i.e. the bones, the intestines, the skins, just different things like that. You need to know how you're going to dispose of those things, whether you're going to just dig a hole and bury it. Hello, Rain. How are you? Oh, it's okay, Rain. I don't always make it on time to everything either. It's kind of the downfalls of having a farm. Schedules, the animals don't care about what your schedule is. So anyway, you're going to need to know how you're going to dispose of that. You can compost it. You can dig a hole and bury it. If you do that, you're going to want to make sure you put something over the top of it until it's kind of decomposed a little bit, because critters of the night like to dig that up, and it is a mess if they do that. So anyway, creatures of the night. Let's see. Composting. Oh, or burying. Those are the two methods that I use. I usually will compost it down. So, okay. Good to know. You have 2 All-American canners. I would like to get an All-American canner. I am going to, I think I'll ask for a canner for Christmas. I haven't yet, people have been asking me, I haven't yet decided what I want for Christmas. I usually ask for practical things like that for Christmas. Things that are a little on the expensive side. But usually I can be like, okay, if you two go in together on this, then I will count it as, because we draw names at different places we go to. So anyway, I usually end up getting one expensive thing every year. So anyway, let me see. I think I've covered most everything I wanted to cover today. Yeah. Any questions, guys? American. Okay, they're heavier. Yeah, I've heard that they are. My canner that I have right now was a birthday gift to me from my husband. Before that, I was borrowing a canner before we could afford one. Sorry guys, I'm reading the comments here real quick. Rain, I do can some on my glass top. I only can things on my glass top if they are short. Kind of like tomatoes. I do run those through my pressure canner. But it's very short amount of time. It's, I think, 5 pounds for 10 minutes, my elevation, my time. So anyway, if it's something that doesn't take very long, I do use my glass top. Here before too long, hopefully, we will be able to get a propane, not an electric stove. I am having a hard time thinking. I'm still really worn out from last week having to get up every 2 hours to check on the cow. That was draining. It's kind of like, it was like having a newborn child again. It really was. I raw pack, Connie R. I have not canned meat in a while, but I do raw pack it. Yes, bandana. Grandma. Mine also has a very large burner that it will accommodate it. And it does take longer. I have the outside burners. I use those for canning most of the time. Yeah, rain, I prefer doing it outside too, canning outside as well. Okay, so we got about 5 minutes left. Let's see. I've been keeping busy with 4-H stuff here lately, and trying to get we're coming into the new year for that, and so this year Cassidy will be doing a series for you guys, and Caitlin will as well, because she is now old enough to be a 4-H'er and not a Clover kid. So this year Cassidy's little series will be on her sheep, and Caitlin will be doing a series on her pigs for her 4-H project. So they're going to take you through that as they go. How often do I do the live shows? Okay, back to my roots. I do my live show every Monday, and this is Eastern Standard Time. I'm fixing to go through a list of all the shows, but I do my show every Monday, Eastern Standard Time, from noon to 1 o'clock. For me, it is 11 o'clock. But anyway, so that is my show time. And if you go to Weetree or Rain, can you please put up the website that she can visit? Or I don't know if you're a he or she, back to my roots, that you can go to, and they have a list of all the show times that you can go see. And there's just a list. It's a wonderful array of different homesteaders and farmers and things that go through there. So anyway, the girls are excited about doing those series for you. They want to show you their progress and show you how they do things. So okay, thank you. Back to my roots. I didn't want to tell you the wrong thing. So this year Cassidy has decided to do her project list is rather long this year, and I have discussed with her that she will be kept very busy if she decides to do all these projects, and she said she would be okay with it. So she is doing her projects this year are sheep, rabbits, cake decorating, woodworking, arts and crafts, sewing, gardening, and wildlife. So those are the different projects that she will be participating in this next year. So oh, you have the website. Okay. Awesome. So and this year, Caitlin, her list is not as long because this is her first time, and I don't want her to get overwhelmed. So this year, Caitlin will be doing swine, rabbits, photography, gardening, and wildlife. That is the projects that they have chosen to do this year, and I've got them signed up. They are official 4-H members as of a week ago. So anyway, okay, so for the Homesteading Network, I wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to some of the daytime shows that we do have on the lineup. And if I miss anybody, I do apologize. I did look at the list just a little bit ago, and I tried to make sure that I did not miss anybody. But every Monday through Friday, every day, from 10:30 to 11 a.m., there is Homestead Faith, and that's with Brad from the Big Family Homestead. And if you guys have never went over and watched that show, he does a really great job, I think, of presenting his faith to everybody, and he does so in a way that he doesn't force it down your throat. He makes it very fun and entertaining, and I do really appreciate all the effort that he puts into that show, because I know that it is a lot that he does to put into that show. So anyway, Brad from Big Family Homestead, 10:30 to 11, Monday through Friday. Wednesdays we have from 9 to 10 o'clock. Go for Green Living does an aquaponics show. So if you want to get into aquaponics, that would be great for you guys to go over there and watch. And then on Friday from 11 to noon, Arms Family Homestead is on. He usually does just a variety of different things. So it just depends on what the topic is that day. So, all right. So today, the shows that will be going on this evening, you will want to tune into. They're always great shows. There is Frida Makers. She will be on from 8 to 9 o'clock this evening. It's always a very entertaining show. And her daughter Sunshine is, she talks about her quite a bit, and just different things to that you can do to live the lifestyle. And she gets into quite a few different conversations, so go ahead and check her out. And then also from 9 to 10 o'clock, you have Robin at Big Bear Homestead, and they have their essential oils chat that they do. So if you want to learn about essential oils, please go over and check that out from 9 to 10 o'clock tonight. So there you have it. That's my spiel on the Homestead Network. If you want to go get a list of show times, check out thehomesteadingnetwork.com. And you can check out the list of all the show times and all the presenters that they have. So anyway, yes, Danny does a very good job with the aquaponics. I do agree. And Robin is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the essential oils. I always try to make sure that I make it to that, because that is something that I am learning. Every year I try to learn something new, and essential oils is on my list this year for learning. That and herbs I've been studying on different things like that. So anyway, I always try to learn something new every year. And I may even continue that this coming year, just because it's such a broad subject to talk about. So, and if you guys were not in when I was talking about the book of the week, here it is again. They do have another one. It's by Adam Danforth, and he does have another book. It looks exactly the same, but it's for beef. And like I said, it would be twice as thick if he put the beef in here, because I do apologize, guys. All right, I'm going to get off here. My phone is ringing, and it is probably my grandpa. So I am going to see you guys next week, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for stopping in.